Welcome to this edition of Rising Kashmir Debates. This year also there are concerns about Amarnath Yatra and the environment, and newspaper articles, views expressed by different political parties, civil society groups have started appearing. In order to get some clarifications and also to know what the concerns of the civil society in particular and the people in general are, we have today with us a distinguished panel of experts and those people who are associated with Yatra in one way or the other. We have with us Mr. Preetpal Singh, who is the Additional Chief Executive Officer of Sri Amarnath Shrine Board. Interestingly, Mr. Singh is also an Indian Forest Service officer and is a relevant man to be in SASB. We have Dr. Tanveer Ahmed Khan, who also interestingly has done his doctorate on Leather Valley, and his doctorate is from the Jamia Millia Islamia University. And thank you, Dr. Tanveer, for being with us. Then we have Dr. Mubin Shah, who is by training a doctor, by practice a businessman, and by interest, I believe, a social activist. He is also former president of Kashmir Chamber of Commerce and Industries. Thank you, all of you, for being with us. Mr. Singh, I would like to begin with you. As you are aware that every year whenever Amarnath pilgrimage, Yatra, as we call it locally, begins, the concerns are being expressed and then the assurances come from the government. So how would you actually place the facts before the people when the Yatra is beginning on June 28th?
We have been putting in place elaborate arrangements. I would first of all like to start from whatever garbage is generated in the camps. It is first of all segregated into two parts, the biodegradable part and the non-biodegradable part. The biodegradable part is dumped. It is dumped into deep pits covered with soil, and this is how the biodegradable waste is being managed. As far as the non-biodegradable waste is concerned, it is all brought down from the upper camps to the lower camps, and then it is sent to the designated garbage dumping sites which have been provided to us by Sonamar Development Authority on the northern route and Pahalgam Development Authority on the southern route. So this is as far as the garbage generation is concerned and how it is managed. Second is about human waste. Last year we had installed about 2,800 toilets throughout the Yatra area, and for this we had procured about 1,500 toilets in 2012-2013. This year also we are going to install 2,800 toilets. And the waste which is generated from these toilets in the base camps, I'm talking about in Nunwan and in Chandarwari, in Nunwan and in Baltar, this human waste is treated in STPs. We got this STP specially designed from Center for Science and Environment, of which Ms. Sunita Ryan is the Director General. And whatever waste is generated, it is then handled in such a manner that there is absolutely no discharge into the rivers. I'll tell you how the process works. First of all, whatever toilets and baths we have put up, they are dosed with microbes. So these microbes, they help in removing the odor, and they also help in faster decomposition of the human waste. Then this goes into anaerobic chambers, where we have about 17 stages. I'm talking about Baltar, where this human waste is treated. Then it goes into aeration tanks. Then it goes into soaking pit. And the water which comes out from which falls into the soaking pit, it is good for horticulture purpose. It meets these required standards. So this is as far as human waste in lower camps is concerned. As far as the human waste which is generated in the upper camps like Seshnag, Paintarni, Holy Cave, it is treated in earthen soaking pits. There also we put in microbes, and if you happen to visit those camps, you will not find any smell coming from these places. Then we have made elaborate arrangements for cleaning of the Yatra tracks also. The Yatra tracks on the Chandarwari side up to Holy Cave, they are managed by Pahalgam Development Authority, whereas the Baltal track, it is managed by the Shrine Board. There also we hire laborers, and we have placed dustbins all across the Yatra routes, and the garbage is collected, and as I've already told, this is segregated and treated accordingly.
So, Ms. Singh, I'll come back to you because we have seen that much after the yatra is over, that we ourselves have seen that there is still garbage on the roads and all. Maybe it's basically the whatever you say. I mean, it looks very perfect system as far as SASB is concerned. But at the same time, we have seen that maybe there is not synchronization between different departments and all that. Then garbage continues to be there. I'd like to ask Dr. Tanveer Khan that how do you see this system which Ms. Singh was actually elaborating for us?
Yeah, first of all, thanks Mr. Singh for initiating some corrective measures, but these are not enough. You just mentioned about State Pollution Control Board. I remember well in 2006 they documented 37-page report and they recommended certain measures, and the first and foremost was to limit the number of pilgrims to the Holy Cave. But instead of following those recommendations, what was done? That very year, the number of pilgrims that increased tremendously. About 1,05,000 increase was there in the number of pilgrims. The main thing, you have initiated certain things at certain levels, though they are not enough. It is a good lesson, but practically it is not as you say there. Maybe at base camp, you have kept 2,800 toilets.
2,800 toilets all across the.
But my concern is, main concern is the number of tourists, pilgrims visiting the cave. From earlier, from thousands now to 6 lakh. So is the carrying capacity of the Leather Valley such that it can carry? It is a very fragile, it is having a very fragile environment. It is the closest valley, it is a U-shaped valley. With you are basically forester also, you might be knowing it contains many, at least 9 medicinal plants and lots of micro forest products. There is a threat not only to the slope, not only to the soil of the terrain, but also the major concern of the people and the environmentalists is that due to heavy rush of these pilgrims to the Holy Cave, is that it is going to impact our water course. It is having, I am having.
But Ms. Singh, there was a committee headed by Sunita Narayan, who is a well-known actually environmentalist, and what were the recommendations of that committee?
I'll come to first. I'll like to answer the question which my distinct colleague has raised. That is, as far as the number of yatris visiting the Yatra area. I would like to inform everybody here that the board has taken a conscious decision this year, and this decision has been continuing for last three yatras, that not more than 7,500 yatris per day per route would be allowed to move on each track. This is apart from the yatris who travel by helicopter, about 1,500 helicopters.
7,500 yatris
per day per route. Let me finish.
It is a small number.
So the board has taken a decision to allow 7,500 yatris per day per route. And this number, it has been arrived at in the board, where we have very distinguished members, those who are from the environment side, those who are from the security side, those who are from cultural field. And after discussions, it was felt, keeping with the past, the trend of the yatra, that 7,500 people would be sufficient. And we have been able to manage that. And all our infrastructure in the yatra area is meant to handle 7,500 yatris.
Dr. Mobin, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, you see, basically, at a certain point of time in 2009, the governor, who is presently also the same governor, had agreed to us that the Nunwan camp will be shifted and will be taken to Chandarwari. It is I think the same story as the RB says that we will shift and then keeps the older one also and takes the new one also. This is one part. Another part is that, as pointed out by Mr. Khan, Dr. Khan, is that our glaciers, they, as per our reports, they have already squeezed by about 2.63 square kilometers, and this is our source of our water. And and it is not only because of we have done okay from the days of 2008. There has been improvement, as you are saying, of disposing of the solid waste and all that, and you have done certain things which we on the ground don't know how far it is effective. But the point is that the effect to the climate is also because of the rising temperature of the human beings. We are a person has 37 degrees centigrade. Normally he radiates from that, and result is that our glaciers are squeezing. And what will happen with 6 lakh people? Your calculation of 7,500 from each route will give.
Sorry, these are only registered.
Yeah, what I'm saying is now
Most of
because
the people are
we
unregistered people who visit
we
the
expect the Amarnath Shrine Board to take care of that. If they are saying that okay, last year there was a lot of problems of registration without registration last year, but we hope that this year they will do only as per the registration. Even by registration on the 2 routes, it comes to about 6,60,000. And if you calculate that with the person radiating at 37 degrees, it is going to be a catastrophe. Because as per our reports and our thinking, it is an environmental disaster in the making. What has happened to Uttarakhand may happen here. And we do not understand why the government of India or even the Amarnath Shrine Board is very particular about increasing the numbers. Why not in the case of Gangotri, when they have limited number of people? Why not in this case? We have seen recently what has happened, when the cloud burst happened. It was a catastrophe. And we hope that we do not fall in something like that in the years to come. And this is where preventive action has to be taken. And we are, as civil society activists, and although as a businessman, I would love to have more pilgrims. But as a civil activist, I am basically, as a civil activist, I am even telling the government that you limit the number of tourists coming to Kashmir. We should have a basic carrying capacity of the areas identified so that we only cater to high value tourists. Because this Kashmir is a very, very fragile area. Environment, and people have to be educated about it. Our tourist players have to be educated about it, so that they don't worry about the money part. They worry more about the climate. I am a businessman. I was heading a business organization. I know what are the pulls and pressures of our other. But this is one of the points where.
But I think last year when we had only 4.5 lakh. 3.5.
In 2012,
Yes.
we had 6.3 lakh yatris.
Yes, 6.3.
But last year we had 3.6 lakh yatris.
Because of the rains and all.
So the figures got reversed. 6.3, 3.6.
3.6.
What other reasons maybe?
No, I would like to tell you
Yeah.
that last year the requirement of registration was very strictly enforced, and as far as my knowledge goes, we got a lot of support from both the district police, and not even a single yatri was allowed to go to the
Without registration.
to the cave without registration. This and it is because of this now the message has gone everywhere that you need to have registration, and in order to ensure that people who are physically fit, they take the yatra, we've also introduced the concept of compulsory health certificate. And people, those who get compulsory health certificate, they move. And second thing what I would like to say, that board is neither inclined to increase the yatra or decrease the yatra. We had come to this figure of 7,500 on the basis of the carrying capacity of the yatra, carrying capacity of the tracks, and our management capacity along with the state government's management capacity to regulate the number of yatris. So our interest is to regulate the yatra, and we are not for increasing the yatra or for decreasing the yatra.
No, but how do you determine the carrying capacity? How do you determine the carry? Is it determine the carry because of the route? Tomorrow you are telling us, the Supreme Court has told that you make a road. Tomorrow the capacity will increase. Then you say we are only catering to the carrying capacity, and it will go to 10 lakhs.
So the carrying capacity has been determined by the committee, or it's the
It
board?
is the joint assessment of the board together, and this is the number which board has arrived at.
No,
and
it
this
is
number
not-
has not changed for last 3 years.
The board cannot do anything about this. We have to constitute a high-level committee of environmental experts, civil society, members from all communities, especially. I will go for the third party for doing an EIA. We will not go for initial environmental examination of this whole valley. It needs full-fledged environmental impact estimate to reach to any conclusion. Our Hindu pilgrims, they are welcome. They are dear to us. I think a true Hindu, he will never like that this ecology of certain place be disturbed because it's against their teaching, as it's also against our teachings. So my main concern is that it is having the Leather Valley is having the high density of drainage system. It constitutes 10% of the total of the Jhelum Basin. 18 well-defined subcatchments fall in only Leather Valley. So heavy rush of tourists to the cave from either from the Baltal area or from the Pahalgam area, it is bound to reflect on the lives of the people. So we should constitute a high-level community. I think earlier it was suggested that not more than 3,000 people should be allowed from the both routes. I will also go, I will tell that instead of having for 15 days, you go for 1 month, but manage it well. Don't put a heavy rush of
Yeah, I think there was
tourists.
Nitish Sen Gupta committee
Yes.
report also which
In
had suggested
1996.
99 when we had a big tragedy
In
when
1996, there was a disaster.
exactly.
205
These
pilgrims.
treks from Sheshnag to Paintani, basically at MG Top area. 243 people had died.
Yes.
Then there was a committee which was formed, and this committee was known as Nitish Sen
Sen Gupta
Right,
committee,
right.
yeah.
It went into the details of
Right.
the entire disaster, and it had come up with a number of recommendations.
Yeah, I would like to point out one thing more. You know, when after the problem came up in 2008, which flared up into a very big issue. In 2009, I remember the present governor made a committee, which you are saying, the committee which does postmortem of the things what had happened in this thing, and in those committees they had given representation to organizations like ours, like KCCI, like travel agents. But unfortunately, after 2 months or 3 months, we had no place in that because somebody from Jammu objected that Muslims should not be there. I am telling you, this is a fact, and we were removed from that. So what you are saying is that close number of people who are in the thinking of the same as the Shrine Board decide about it. They don't have other dissenting voices in that committee who will point out certain things which are detrimental to our place.
Actually, I think it's very important. That's why we are holding this discussion also. The important issue is that we need to take into consideration the concerns which are being actually expressed by the people. As I said at the beginning, that every year Yatra starts. I mean, there will be a series of articles in the local newspapers about expressing concern about the environment en route. And you also agree that environment is one of the prime importance, and we need to take care of that, and we need to be very, actually, I would say, innovative as far as the conducting of yatra is concerned. I know that there is huge rush of people. There are many yatris all over India who want to actually come on this pilgrimage and want to be there. But obviously, I mean, since last year you have in fact restricted the numbers. I think that's a very good beginning.
But use the word regulated. Restricted gives a different message.
Yeah, I mean,
Regulated.
you have regulated. You have
That
regulated.
the proper people will
Yeah,
go.
exactly. Yeah, you have regulated the
They had a lot of
system.
problems in also that.
Yeah, I mean, you have regulated the system. I think it's a good beginning. But I think the people generally, I would say that in Kashmir Valley, would like that there should be more concrete steps. As Dr. Tanveer was pointing out, that the glaciers are shrinking, and this is not a good I would say that development in that sense, that what we saw in Uttarakhand very recently.
And
it was a-
interestingly,
it
high
was a- it
density
was a-
of
it was a-
drainage
it was a
follows
right-
in this
I would like
area.
to add one thing.
Yeah,
and
sure.
It's an interesting piece which I would like to share. That is, it's not to say that we are doing very good or we are trying to promote ourselves. But when the Uttaranchal tragedy happened, it was a shock for everybody. And when and after that, the government of India they sent their IS probationers over here. When the IS probationers came over here, they were given a lesson. They were specially attached with the board, and but there were 2 days briefing session. And even the Uttaranchal government, they came to us and they sought our advice how we are regulating the yatra. And for the first time, they are also they are also implementing a pattern where they know how many people are going. Before that,
Nobody
did
knew.
not even have a
Nobody
count.
knew.
But as far as we know, if you ask me on 10th of August last year, how many people went, I have the data. So we are regulating the yatra, we are neither restricting it nor promoting it.
It needs to
And
be
I agree-
regulated and
I
it
agree-
needs to be
I
managed.
agree- And I agree with the two concerns that
Scientifically.
environment should be protected, and second is that everybody should be consulted while taking the yatra. And in this context, I would like to say that whatever news comes in the media, it is taken very constructively, and there are a number of times, on the basis of the press report, we improve our internal mechanisms.
I would like to
Yeah,
further
sure.
point two things, because I don't know whether Dr. Tanvi didn't, basically, as you know, you are basically an IF, forest service person, and you know more of mountains and forests than me. But what I can understand and gather from my readings, because I was very much interested in all this, that mountains have a very, very microclimate.
Absolutely.
Is it absolute about it? Which is very sensitive.
Very essential.
And even a small change in temperature can spell disaster. So when you are going to increase the number of people, the temperature will change, it will be disaster. This is what our feeling is. And it has nothing to do with, that I am from the other community and this. We are basically concerned about the environment. We during that time also in 2008 or 2009, we gave whatever help we were able to give to the pilgrims. We even arranged for them
Langars
food,
at many
langars,
places.
ourselves, our associations, affiliate associations like the Travel and the Houseboat Association. I was a part of it at that point of time. So unfortunately, it is given a wrong perception to people outside J&K that the Kashmiri Muslim is against this pilgrimage.
I would like to correct this perception here.
Yeah, that's right.
The kind of this yatra is basically, Shrine Board is the body which is overall looking after the yatra, but basically the entire yatra is not possible without the support of the people of Kashmir, and especially the people of Ganderbal and Anantnag districts.
Exactly.
And there is no doubt about that.
Absolutely.
And then there are porters, poniwalas, palkiwalas,
Doctors,
these all are local
nurses,
people,
everything.
and they are the people who
You
have been
see,
carrying the
I
yatra.
would like to further point out that you are talking about 60,000 people, the tourists, which you are registering. What about the number of security forces? What about the number of porters and other allied people? So all these adds up to a huge number. Number one.
I
Number
agree.
two. Number two, sir, that the impact of your helicopter service, and which I have been given to understand. I know, Mr. Dr. Tanvir may subscribe to it. That massive vibration
Absolutely. Noise
of a
pollution.
helicopter,
Absolutely.
which leads to breaking of glaciers.
Glaciers.
These things have not been taken into account. Neither that committee who meets and makes the necessary recommendations, because we don't know what happens in that committee, because we are not a part of it. We were supposed to be a part of it. Unfortunately, we were removed. Maybe because I don't know what was the reason. They may have their
And
own
because
reasons.
because of so much of noise being
Yeah,
created
so
by this,
my
the
point is-
wildlife gets
yes,
disturbed.
Yes. So our concern is only environment. That is why, even although being a businessman, I have suggested in a number of papers to the government that you please even do this assessment which he is talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
Even in Pahalgam, Gulmarg, and other places.
The normal tourist.
Yes,
inflow,
exactly,
actually.
exactly.
Then I would like to add. I would like to talk about the Shishnag, because there people mostly they stay for a night, and what facilities you have provided there? Nothing. And it is the source of the East leather.
I'll come to
Kola is
points
the
one by
source
one.
for the-
I would
Yes.
like
They
you
are-
to. I'd like you to respond now because we're shortage of time also. So
As far as the assessment part is concerned, the State Pollution Control Board has been mandated specially to conduct the impact of the pilgrimage and to study what is the impact before the yatra, during the yatra, and after the yatra. This is their mandate, and this they have been doing after yatra.
They are only studying, but are you implementing their recommendations? No. In 2006, you
we-
throw their recommendation to the dustbin. You instead of following their recommendation, you increase the number tremendously.
Whatever
That is
recommendations
pathetic.
we have been receiving, we have been properly considering those recommendations, and
Hope so.
and
Hope so.
no and the board, the way it functions, we take into account even the press releases and the reports which specially come to us. They all are acted upon.
Also, I would
and
like-
a proper considered decision is taken, and that too after involving the state government and the state pollution control board. This has been the way the board has been functioning, so that every stakeholder has a say in what goes on in the city.
I would like to suggest some corrective measure for this, for smooth conduct of the yatra, especially with regard to the safety of the pilgrims. They should be provided, and it should be mandatory for them to use PPEs, personal protective equipment, like helmet, safety shoes, and safety belt. And secondly, during this period, they should not be allowed to consume the water of the streams coming, especially this Lidar and of the Sindh. You know, it is better to provide them some potable water, so that tomorrow you don't blame the terrain for the any mishap or for some death. That can be because of the other factor also. So safety measures should be also kept in mind. And the rest, I will again say that they are most welcome. We all welcome yatras. We have been welcoming them, but our concern is again that ecology and environment, which is a very fragile area, fragile valley, it should be preserved because it is our lifeline.
Thank you, Ms. Singh. Thank you, Dr. Tanveer Khan. Thank you, Dr. Mubin Shah. I know that, it's again a very important issue and there are concerns of the people, but I think we have made a small beginning by actually listening to the concerns of the people, where we have representatives from the civil society and environmentalists. And we are happy that we had Mr. Singh, who is a very responsible officer in Sri Amarnath Ji Shrine Board. He agreed to be with us in this discussion, and I'm positive about it, that whatever we have discussed here, it would have an impact, and we can go further on this by actually expanding the base of discussion. And the suggestions especially given by Dr. Khan about the committee and all others, as you say that you are taking note and cognizance of every press release and the articles which are being published in the newspapers, and we hope that you take all the suggestions into consideration, and we will have an environment friendly yatra. We'll have a very incident free yatra, and we'll have a smooth yatra. And with these words, I thank you once again, Mr. Singh, Dr. Khan, and Dr. Mubin Shah. Thank you.